this video is all about the 500K camera gear bag, but I'm not talking about $500,000 worth of camera gear. I'm talking about 500,000 because this channel just hit 500,000 subscribers. That's a huge milestone for me, and I wanted to do something special. So we're gonna talk through the gear that I use to create my videos. See, it's all back there in my backpack, but I'm also gonna go through a giveaway that I'm doing to celebrate 500,000. So guys, if you stick around till the end of this video, we're gonna go through how you can win one of 3 awesome camera kits for your YouTube journey. But first, let's head back down there, go back to base camp, and let's talk about what's in my camera bag. I want to say a special thank you to you guys because you guys are the reason that I'm here able to keep creating and keep making videos on this platform. And so in this video, what we're going through is my camera gear bag. And I have a specific set of gear that I use in almost all of my YouTube videos. I've pretty much stripped it down to this batch of gear. I have it all laid out over there on the table, and we're gonna go through just piece by piece because I really wanted to just go through what it takes to make videos and what I use. So let's just start with the backpack. This is my Shimoda Action X50. The 50 liter, it's the Action series. This is the newer bag from Shimoda. Now personally, these are my favorite backpacks that I have come across. They are not only made for creators, but these backpacks are built for adventure. So a lot of the features that you're gonna find on this backpack are for those of you who wanna go out into the wild. You wanna go travel to another country and have everything accessible easily. You wanna go mountain bike, you wanna go climb a mountain. This is kind of your all-in-one bag. So I did a whole video about this bag, and I'll put that in the description along with a bunch of other videos for all this gear I'm gonna talk about. But the few things I wanna just highlight are, on the front you have tons of straps for you to connect different things. It's a roll top bag, so this expands up. If you need to put more gear in it, you can expand it up. On the sides, you actually have space for big water bottles. I know that's not like the most exciting thing when it comes to being a creator, but having a space for a giant water bottle, like the big Nalgene's or the big thermal flasks, that's something that most camera bags don't have. And so you have these pouches that come off the side. Now you can put your tripod in here on one side, and then on the other side carry a big water bottle or another piece of equipment or something else. And the cool thing about these is they fold up into the pack. So if you don't need to use them and you want to be a little sleeker without stuff hanging off, they fold up nice and neat inside these zippers. Now on the back where all your gear goes is this big zipper pouch. And this opens all the way around. Pop it open. You can configure this however you want. I just configure this differently for each trip depending on what I am putting in here and what I'm bringing along. There's also a sleeve for your laptop, and it fits my 16-inch MacBook Pro. And then for the chest straps, you have 2 big pockets, and this will fit my iPhone XS Max, which is awesome that it fits a giant phone right here. And you just have another pouch that you can use for other things. And for me, I hide my microphone a lot of times in here. So I'll use a wireless mic right here on my chest, and I'll use my pouch to hide the wireless pack. If you guys haven't noticed, recently I've been shooting more and more in this style where I'm not always arm's reach away from the camera. I might put the camera over there on a rock or something and get a wider shot. I like this ability to be able to be free and not always have to be tied to my camera and be close to my camera. So this was a tactic that I used when I was in Thailand shooting VR 180. I would put the mic pack right in here and put my little lapel mic here, or I'll use the Rode Go and stick it just right on the edge there. And then you always have a hidden mic and it sounds great. Now, one other thing that I like using a lot is this Peak Design capture clip. I've had this for a long time, but it fits nicely on this backpack. So if I want a camera just right here on my chest, I have this capture pack that uses the Arca Swiss plate, which all of my gear is tied around the Arca Swiss plate. And the reason is I want to be able to go from my backpack to my tripod, to my switch pod, to my gimbal, everything. I want it all tied in one system so I'm not having to change out the camera plate ever. All right, so let's move on to the cameras because I use 2 different camera bodies. My main body that I use for almost everything is the GH5. This has been a workhorse. I've taken this camera in so many situations. I've taken it to the top of mountains. I've taken it to the jungles of Thailand, and it's held up no matter what. I've never had an issue, and it shoots great looking footage. And my secondary camera, which I just picked up recently, is the Olympus OMD EM1 Mark III. Now you're probably wondering, why did I get this camera? Well, this doesn't have the best autofocus and the stabilization is really wonky. This, on the other hand, the EM1 Mark III has amazing autofocus and the stabilization looks so natural, so you don't really get that warpy, wobbly effect. Now this is an expensive camera to just use for vlogging, but that's been my solution for now because I have a Micro Four Thirds system, so I just have to bring an extra body with me and then I have an awesome vlog camera. I have an unreleased camera in my possession, it's sitting right over there. That could be a good solution to the vlogging camera. Can't really talk about that yet, but it is one of the next videos that's gonna be coming out will be about that camera, and it might be a trade-off for this. All right, let's talk lenses. So I have 4 lenses that I bring with me almost everywhere. And the first is my 8-18. This is like the perfect vlog lens. It's super wide, and with the EM1 Mark III, which does a little extra punch in because of the stabilization, this works great. When it comes to a Micro Four Thirds system, if you wanna get that cinematic looking footage, you need to get super shallow, and to do that, you have to have lenses that open wide open. So I have 3 primes that I bring with me everywhere on top of my wide lens. So I have my vlog lens, and then I have my 3 primes. And the 3 primes are the 17, the 25, and the 42.5. And these are all super wide aperture. They're at a 1.2, so you can get that really buttery, shallow depth of field. And there are some other lenses that shoot at like the 1.7. So I have on my camera right now the 10-25 1.7, but there is a major difference between 1.7 and 1.2, and it really is noticeable. So to get that cinematic look, you kind of have to shoot wide open, and because I shoot Micro Four Thirds, I'm limited to shooting on these primes. You know, I don't mind shooting on primes. It's actually kind of nice because it makes you be a little bit more creative because you have to make specific lens choices for the shot that you want versus just putting on a zoom lens and being like, maybe this or this. All right, let's talk about Indy Filters. So I kind of have a split thought on which Indy filters to bring with. If I need to move fast, I'll bring a variable Indy filter. The new ones from Moment are great. I've enjoyed working with them just because you can see the Indy very easily when it's on the lens, and the footage looks good with using these filters. But I did a video recently where I talked about variable Indies in general, and when you're shooting wide open like vlog style and you have one of these variable Indies, if you close it down completely, most of them will cause some sort of vignetting. So when I really want to get the best image quality, I'll just use a single Indy. This is an Indy filter from Polar Pro from the Quartz line series, and they're great. These are amazing filters. If you don't want to worry about any sort of artifacts like vignetting or anything like that, then you're going to want to get a single ND, especially when you're shooting on wide angle lenses. So I kind of judged based on what kind of content I'm shooting, which one I'm going to bring with me. For my tripod, I use a Peak Design tripod. Before this, I had a bunch of different travel tripods, and I really never ended up using them because they were more cumbersome to bring with, and they didn't really fit on my bag the way that this one does. So this carbon fiber travel tripod fits right on the side of my bag, and it's, you know, the perfect tripod just to have with me everywhere I go. I've been using a tripod more and more since I got one of these because this is so easy to use and pull out. I can set it down, put it away, I can have a camera at eye level versus always shooting like from the ground up when you use like one of the little tiny vlogging tripods. And recently, as I've been doing more of a different style for my videos where I put the tripod somewhere far away and shoot kind of at a distance, this has become like an essential part that I use for almost everything. It's just so easy to use, and it just sits on the side of my bag. So for me, this has become a major component to my kit. And the one thing that you don't have is a video head. So this is a photo head. So you can't be doing any sort of like panning or tilting. For me, I never really use those actions. And when I do, I just do it handheld with the camera stabilization because cameras are getting better and better. Or I'll use my gimbal, which we'll talk. Let's grab the gimbal. This gimbal has become one of the essential parts of my kit. And you might think, well, that's pretty big. Well, this is the AK-4500 from Fiutech. I did a review about this. It's one of my favorite gimbals that I've worked with, partly because you can transform this. So right now I have it in the ring design, but from this, you can pull it apart and you can actually have it as like the lollipop design, single-handed. And you can also add a mount on the back that gives you a longer extension. This gimbal works great in a lot of situations. And so if I need more control over my gimbal, I'll bring the whole ring. But the cool thing is all of this unscrews and it packs down super small and tiny. So I can unscrew all of these components and just strap them together on the outside of my packs. And it uses the same Arca-Swiss system that all these other components use. So this has been a really essential part of my kit because it just works so well. No complaints. I mean, I like the gimbal. It seems to get me smooth shots when I need them. Hands down, my favorite drone right now is the DJI Mavic Air 2 because it's so small when you pack it down. My favorite drone before the Mavic Air 2 was the Mavic Air 1. So this one is just a little bit bigger. However, it has better capabilities. It shoots 4K 60, it does HDR. It's got some amazing power in such a tiny drone. So this is the drone that I'm gonna take everywhere because I don't wanna bring a Mavic 2 with me. The batteries are heavier, the drone itself is heavier, it's bigger. So for me, I like to go light. Like I said, I wanna be able to take everything that I can in my backpack. And then also I usually bring other stuff with me because I'm not always just going to shoot. Like if I'm going hiking, I need other stuff like things like food and water and stuff like that. Lighter's better, and I like smaller gear because of that. I can already tell that this drone is gonna be a workhorse. I can use this in a ton of different situations. I like the Mavic Mini, but the Mavic Mini is a little too limited. This has everything you need, plus the tracking on it's pretty amazing. Everything that I've tracked using this drone just works so well. So I can see this being an essential part of my kit for a long time. All right, let's talk audio gear. I have 4 different microphones that I switch between depending on the style of content I'm gonna shoot at that time. So for my on-camera mics, I have the little tiny one from Rode. This is great if I wanna be more sleek, less attention to the camera, rather than this big one, the Pro Plus. The Pro Plus works great. However, if you are like in a busy city, you do draw a lot of attention with this giant furry thing on top. So I found that, using the little tiny Rode actually makes a lot more sense. It's a little bit more discreet. So I play between these two in terms of my shotgun mic. For wireless, I have 2 that I use. So the Rode Go's have become a replacement for all the other wireless systems that I typically use because it just works. Like these are so simple. They work so well. They're pretty much automated, so you don't have a whole lot of control, but in my experience, when I'm shooting YouTube style content, I don't really need to sit there and tinker with audio. I just need to know if I'm getting good audio or not. And the Rode seems to get pretty consistent audio. I need to do a review about these because I have been using them in a bunch of different situations and they seem to work great. Now my other solution for wireless audio isn't really wireless sending to the camera, it's actually an audio recorder. So this is the Tascam DR10. And what this does is it just records directly on this. So this is a recorder where you can plug in a lav mic. It's very simple. It has some cool features like it does a dual recording where it records at normal audio and then 20 decibels under normal audio so that if there's ever a spike, you never actually lose audio quality. So you can switch between the two. Features like that make this a really powerful little tool. Now I stick this on the front of my backpack right here in the zipper pocket, and then I'll have my wireless lav just right here on this strap, and because it's all black, you can't really tell it's there. And the cool thing about this is that, you don't have to worry about wireless signals ever. Once it's recording, this thing will just roll for hours. Now, the way to shoot your YouTube videos and having, audio recorded separately is at the beginning of each take, I usually just say what I'm doing in that take, so I have a reference when I listen to it, and then I do a clap. The clap allows me to sync, and it's super easy to do this style of recording because if you do it sequentially where you're recording on this in your camera and you make sure you turn both off and turn both on at the, around the same time, when you bring it into your timeline, it's very easy to sync it all up. So SwitchPod has become something that I bring with me everywhere I go. It's perfect for vlogging. It's like the perfect tool for vloggers. I have a Joby head on there because I like having the ball head and something that uses the ArcaSwitch system. So it's not the best ball head in the world, but it seems to work fine with my system. Now SwitchPods are great, and like some people are on the fence about whether they would want a SwitchPod over a Joby, the Gorilla Pods. I personally like these. I've had the Gorilla Pods in the past. I've used them in a lot of shooting, and they're just too big and cumbersome. So like on my backpack, I have these slots here that I could just slip my SwitchPod into, and then I can always just grab this for a quick tripod shot. SwitchPods are one of the sponsors of the giveaway, so the winners are gonna get a SwitchPod, which is pretty cool. And I highly suggest if you haven't checked out SwitchPod, I'll put a link down below in the description to a video I did all about the SwitchPod and why I think it's such a good tool for YouTubers. It's just something you should always have on you. It's super easy to carry with everywhere you go. All right, let's talk about action cameras. I'm a big fan of 360 cameras. So I've been carrying around the Insta 360 1R, and it's cool because it's a modular system. So, you can get the 4K mod, which is what I have on here right now. And then you could also use the 360 mod, which is actually a little bit better quality than the 1X. I know they're the same resolution, but apparently it's a better quality image. Now, one reason I really like this system over, say, the 1X is that I don't accidentally turn on. The 1X, the button is in a weird placement and I always somehow hit it and turn it on. With this, I don't have that issue. And the good thing about the 1R is that I can bring different cameras with me and it uses one system. So if I don't want to bring a bigger gimbal with me, I'll usually just bring the Osmo Pocket because it's so small and you can still get gimbal-like shots. Now, it's not going to be obviously the same as a big gimbal, but there's been situations where I've been like hiking or climbing where I wanted to get a gimbal shot, but I'm not going to pull out my whole system. And I just pull this out, and you can get some pretty amazing looking footage with it. And I have this little lens attachment from Freewell. It's a wide lens adapter. It's actually much better than some of the other ones I've tried. So you could get wider looking shots. So if I do need to vlog using this camera, I'll throw on this little wide lens attachment and then, you know, it works pretty well. So if I want to be able to see my image better, I'll bring my Shinobi along. This is a great tool just to be able to see your image bigger, clearer. If you're on a gimbal, this makes it so I can actually hook it to the ring and see what I'm doing. I have this magic arm, it's just a simple magic arm, but I do want to talk about these attachments. So Zhiyun makes these quick release attachments, and they're probably one of the coolest things that I've seen in a while for just like hardware, because you can attach super quick on and off different things like monitors onto the gimbal and different pieces onto your camera. So I use these for a lot of different situations. Now, if I need to bring a light, I'll bring my boiling light. This is the Vlogger. It works, it's great, it has a bunch of colors, it's RGB, it's bright. I use it for my background sometimes, depending on what I'm shooting. But it's just a good light to have in case you need an extra light. And the last thing that I bring is this tool. It's just a simple tool that has like a screwdriver, it's got some Allen wrenches on it, it's got a big flat thing to screw on plates. I've never seen anyone use this before, and I just found this randomly. I just thought it was a cool little tool. I end up using this all the time. All right, let's get out of here. Let's go back out into the wild and let's talk about this giveaway. I want to give a quick shout out to Ian Corzine because he helped me put together all the terms and conditions on how to run a proper giveaway. So if you ever have any legal questions or legal advice that you need for your channel, or you want to do something like run a giveaway on your channel, I highly suggest going over to his because he has a ton of info so that you don't get screwed over as a creator when it comes to legal things. All right, let's go. Okay, now I've switched over to my super secret camera that I can't talk about yet because it hasn't been released, but I do need to test out this camera. And that's one thing, you know, with a kit, even though you find gear that works for you, you need to constantly be testing things and trying new things because you never know if you'll find a new piece of gear that's going to, you know, make your kit that much better. And so guys, let's talk about this giveaway. I've actually partnered with the company Kit to do this giveaway, and we're doing something a little bit different. So instead of doing your typical giveaway where someone is randomly selected, it's more gonna be judged on the kit that you build. And so I'm asking you guys to build your dream YouTuber kit. There'll be a link down below in the description that goes to a page that has the full details on how this giveaway works. But essentially you need to come up with the gear that you think will be essential for your YouTube journey. So the cameras, the drones, the sound equipment, what is gonna make your workflow that much better? And I want you to build a kit out of it. So you're gonna go to kit.co and you're going to actually build your dream YouTuber kit. And you're gonna use a specific hashtag, which you can see here on the screen, and that's how you enter into the giveaway. So you build your kit, use the hashtag, and now you're entered to win one of the 3 prizes. And the winner's not gonna be picked at random. So I'm gonna go through all of your kits and we're gonna do a live stream. It'll be fun, where I take some of the top kits and actually go through them with you guys to talk about, you know, the choices that you made to put in your kit. Now, you're gonna be judged based on your creativity. You're gonna be judged based on how realistic it is for this set of gear for your specific filming purposes. So if you're a vlogger and you do this kind of stuff where you're like running around nature, then a red camera is probably not going to be the camera of choice, because holding that out, you know, it just doesn't make sense. So what I want you to do is really think through a realistic kit that makes sense for the kind of content that you're going to be shooting, and then come up with your dream kit. Come up with a reason why each piece of gear is in there. And what's really cool on kit.co is that each item can have a description, and it even can have a video. You can also add photos. So the more creative you get with your kit and the more that you fill it out, the more that you're gonna have a chance to actually win one of the prizes, because we're judging based on creativity. So go through and actually write in descriptions, talk about why you would need this camera or this piece of audio gear and how it's gonna really help you on your journey. All right, I switched back over to the Olympus. just to see the difference in this setting. So all the information on how to enter is down below in the description, but I want to talk about the prizes because this is pretty cool. I have 3 different prizes for you that you could win. Each of them come with a year membership with Genius Link. You're going to get a subscription to Epidemic Sound, which is a great way to add music into your videos and not deal with licensing issues. It's the one I'm using now for all of my videos. All 3 winners are also going to get a Switch Pod, which is the tool I'm using right now. I love the Switch Pod. But the grand prize, the big thing that all of you guys are gonna get is a camera. So first place is gonna have a choice between a DJI Mavic Air, a Canon M50, or an Insta360 1R. So depending on if you want a camera or a drone or an action camera, you can have your pick of the litter. So you can choose any of them. Now, second place is gonna have a choice of the 2 remaining options, and third place gets the last camera that wasn't selected. So you're gonna be able to win one of these 3 cameras on top of the Epidemic Sound, the Creator Film School, the Genius Link, and also you're gonna get a Switch Pod because I think Switch Pods are so useful when it comes to creating YouTube style content. So guys, like I said, all the information is down below in the description. There's a whole page where you guys can check out how to enter, all the details about the prizes, everything else, anything I failed to mention here. And guys, I'd really appreciate it. This isn't a condition to win one of the prizes or be entered in any way, but I would really appreciate it if you guys hit that subscribe button and you guys left a comment down below in the description, told me which camera you would like best out of the 3 options that we have available for you. And guys, I look forward to checking out your kits. I'm pretty excited for this. 500,000 is a huge milestone for me because when I started, the people that I looked up to were around 500,000 subscribers. So getting to this point is a huge success in my eyes, and it wouldn't have happened without you guys. So I just want to say a special thanks to all of you because you guys are awesome. You guys are the reason that I'm able to keep creating the videos that I like to create, and I can't wait to see where this journey takes us from here. All right, guys, I'm looking forward to checking out all of your kits, and I'll see you on the next one.